Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the STEM Scholars and the Value of Hands-on Learning. This is part of the 2021 Energy Resources Center Speaker Series. So we'll just give a minute or two for folks to join, but just wanted to welcome you. So hang on and welcome. Welcome to those of you joining. This is the ERC Speaker Series. Welcome to July 22nd. Today's a good day and you are going to hear a great presentation. So welcome. We're going to be starting in another minute. Welcome to those of you joining. This is the ERC Speaker Series, and we're going to allow another minute for folks to join, but welcome. You're going to enjoy today's webinar and encourage you to ask questions and take advantage of this opportunity to learn about this great program. So just another minute and we'll begin. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. We are going to begin. Folks are still joining, and that's fine, but I want to get us started so we don't waste a moment of time. My name is Jane Epperson, and I'm happy to welcome you today to the ERC Speaker Series. I'm the Associate Director of the Energy Resources Center, or ERC. So I have the wonderful privilege of kicking us off and moderating some of the questions that you all might have. So I very much look forward to this. Today, this is part of a speaker series that we are doing to focus and highlight on ERC programs. And this one is called the STEM Scholars Program. And the presentation is about the value of hands-on learning. So welcome, sit back and enjoy, or sit forward in your seat and listen, and post your questions in the chat, which we will, I'll address those at the end of the presentation. So next. Welcome to the speaker series. Like I said, this is part of the Energy Resources Center at the University of Illinois, Chicago. We at ERC, we are based out of the College of Engineering at UIC, and we do applied research in the energy and environment fields. So that's a pretty broad range of focus areas. You'll see this wonderful little diagram to the right that better describes our different focus areas: bioenergy and sustainable transportation, distributed energy and renewables, sustainable landscapes, energy efficiency, and utility data analytics. So today's presentation is kind of officially in the sustainable landscape, but bleeds over into all kinds of good places. So next. So like I said, this is part of a series, and we've already had 2. So this is our 3rd. So this kind of shows you that we're here today on July 22nd. And if you've missed the first 2, come to our website. We can find that and sign up now for the ones upcoming, because they're all great. So next. Okay, I want to introduce the presenter for today. Caroline Hernandez is going to present on this program, which she actually helped create. So she manages the STEM scholarship program for ERC, and it in essence engages high school students from marginalized communities and hopefully piques their interest in STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, and energy efficiency, transportation, environmental justice, all that. So Caroline comes to us with, she has a dual master's degree in international relations and natural resources and sustainability development from American University, and has a background in globalization, sustainable development, and climate change. So welcome, Caroline. Thank you for presenting this wonderful content today, and I'll hand it over to you. Enjoy, everyone.
Thank you, Jane. As Jane mentioned, my name is Caroline Hernandez. I'm really happy to be here today, and I'm presenting on the STEM Scholars After School Program and Internship, and really the value of hands-on learning and what we've seen so far in the 2 years that we have hosted this program. So before we get into the program, I think it is important to talk about the reason this program and other programs that are similar to it exist, and it is a lack of diversity or diverse representation in science, technology, engineering, and math career fields. And just wanted to share some basic statistics. Pew Research Center has been doing a number of studies. This one is just based in the United States, but maybe surprisingly to everybody, it was surprising to me, actually 50% of all STEM workers are women. The caveat, of course, is that the majority of STEM, the female STEM workers are in healthcare, and so there is actually kind of a dearth of representation in engineering, in physics, computer sciences, life sciences. So there is a lack of women in other STEM fields. Blacks and Hispanics are also not adequately represented in STEM fields. And then students that are coming from families of lower socioeconomic status tend to be less likely to pursue post-secondary education, and majority of careers in STEM require that kind of post-secondary education. And so that is something that we've also seen, and something that we need to consider when we're thinking about rectifying this lack of diversity in STEM. So this project is 2 years old, the STEM Scholars Program, and it has been funded by the Illinois Science and Energy Innovation Foundation. And the ISEF specializes in funding energy efficiency, energy-related programs that focus on energy literacy and technology adoption, but also really focus on equitable access and communications and getting that that behavior change kind of at the root of this equity problem. And so we proposed the STEM Scholars Program to become, or to be part of this smart grid, consumer-facing technology kind of resource for high school students, starting young, where they are learning about energy efficiency and energy education, renewable energy, while also helping these high school students kind of pursue STEM-related careers, science, technology, engineering, and math. And we have also integrated other parts into this program where we are now also focusing on environmental justice. We've got presentations from professionals that look like our students and come from similar backgrounds as our students, go on field trips to get these students out in the field to see something that they might not have seen. We've integrated digital badging, so the students that are part of this program can really showcase what they've learned and the experience that they have. We try to integrate career guidance throughout the whole project, and then there is a mentorship component of the internship. And all of this, you know, we've got kind of the two focus areas of energy efficiency, consumer-facing technology, and environmental justice, and really focusing on equity as well. So the program is broken into two aspects. We've got the after-school program, and we have the internship. An after-school program happens every semester, and it's 6 weeks of 2-hour sessions. And that's where the students really engage in this hands-on learning, where they get to you know, put to practice what they've learned in school and what they've learned out of school, and kind of what we focus on too. And through this hands-on learning, we have tried to really integrate this low floors, high ceilings mentality where, you know, as we start this program, any student that's in high school, so freshmen to seniors, can join us, and they have a variety of, you know, educational backgrounds and experience. And so we have developed these hands-on activities to be something that anybody, you know, in high school can really take part in and learn from. But we have also been interested in creating high ceilings in areas where students can really learn and excel. And the students that we have had so far in the past 2 years have been incredibly bright and motivated. And so we've definitely made use of these high ceilings where we offer opportunities for them to continue learning, for them to be challenged and to work together. And so that's all kind of encompassed in this 1.5 hours of hands-on activities. And then we take what they've learned just through doing, and we talk about it. We have a discussion with the students, and we oftentimes will have a guest speaker come in that again hopefully looks like the students, comes from a similar background as the students, and we'll talk to the students about, you know, maybe what they've learned, how it could relate to a variety of different careers if that's something that really piqued their interest, and give the students an insight to what this person might have gone through in order to get to their career in terms of school and any kind of trials and tribulations. We have also been cognizant, or we have tried to be as cognizant as possible of any kind of equity issues that might come up. And so this map to the right is where our students are coming from over the past, I think this is 3 semesters. And as you can see, it's a pretty wide range of neighborhoods and backgrounds. And many of the students might not have been able to join us if we hadn't done anything about it. And so we covered transportation costs. We filled bus cards to get students to UIC at the Energy Resources Center and back. We also tried to offer we continue to try and offer a variety of times that students can join. And as I mentioned, and I think I'm going to continue mentioning throughout this whole presentation, these students are incredible, and they are incredibly motivated, and they have, you know, hobbies and camps and skills that they're already working on. And so we don't want them to have to choose one educational activity for another. And so we let the students decide based on their own schedules when they can join, and that can be, you know, from 2 to 4 in the afternoon, or from 6 to 8 p.m. So that we can try and adequately provide a variety of times. And as an after-school program, we also try and provide snacks. It might seem small, but the students, I think everybody has experienced it, that you just can't concentrate as well, you can't learn as well, you can't interact with other people as well if you're hungry. And so we try and provide something that will, keep the students' stomachs full for the time being until they can get home and eat something. As I mentioned, we have 6 weeks of activities, although we've been adding on to it, but our primary focus areas are energy efficiency, environmental sciences, biomedical engineering, architecture and structural engineering, machine learning and coding, and systems thinking and mechanical engineering. And it may occur to you all that I'm saying engineering a lot, and this isn't a program just for students that are interested in engineering, but we do try and integrate the way an engineer might think into a lot of these activities. This can be utilized across a variety of landscapes. And so this is kind of a general way of explaining what we focus on and what the students are learning. So to get into a little bit more detail, the energy efficiency session, I think it's one of my favorites because it's really, really neat. We have partnered with Illinois State University and the Center for Mathematics, Science, and Technology, and we have created this microgrid activity where students get miniature solar panels and LED lights, and they wire the solar panels to the LED lights themselves, and then they create their own microgrid. And as you can see, and these are videos that students have taken, but this bottom one is kind of the basics where they've got cardstock and they create their own little neighborhood that's all connected to this solar panel. But the upper one is where the student just got really enthusiastic. He made an entire Lego village out of it, and it's all lit up with the LED lights, and I think it's just kind of showing that you've got the basics of the activity, and these students are just taking it above and beyond, and they're learning about clean energy. They're learning about the benefits of a microgrid and some of that consumer-facing technology that is controlled within a household. And then they have an energy engineer from the Energy Resources Center, or 2 of them actually, come and talk to them about their experience studying energy efficiency and what it takes to become an energy engineer. We had students actually say, was never interested in this beforehand, and now they're really interested and they're really excited about it. So that's been a really fun one. We have also focused on environmental science over the past 2 years, but recently we have been integrating environmental justice into it. And for the environmental science hands-on component, students are learning about environmental impacts of natural disasters, particularly on at-risk populations. And they are trying to clean up an oil spill and realizing how hard it is and how, the impacts on the ecosystem and on the surrounding areas, potentially to the surrounding people that this oil spill can have if they don't clean it up correctly. We have also been integrating environmental justice and environmental racism into this program. And as this NRDC spotlight shows, it's happening in these students' backyards, and most of our students are coming from these neighborhoods. And so it's really important to them to learn about this, and important to them to learn about how we can rectify some of this environmental racism and how we can really work towards environmental justice. And as they learn about this, they're getting really excited about it. They're learning about grassroots organizations and how they can participate themselves. And I think that's something that you know, is maybe not always oftentimes available to a high school student, is learning, you know, we talk about climate change and it just feels like this insurmountable problem, but you talk about environmental racism in their backyard and these grassroots organizations that are fighting against it, and they can conceptualize it and they can participate in these organizations. And so it's something that has really galvanized these students across the board, and I'm very excited about kind of taking this to the next step. Biomedical engineering, of course, I mean, I'm super excited about all of these, but biomedical engineering is really, really fun. This one, the hands-on activity, it's twofold. So the students get an artificial blood clot, and they have to use a mixture of chemistry to clear that blood clot. And they learn how, you know, a biomedical engineer would create robots or systems to actually go in and create that blood clot. And when we were in person, they actually, we brought in a surgeon, a heart surgeon, and he dissected with them a cow's heart. And so, you know, they got to hold the scalpels, they got to, you know, dissect different parts of it and identify different parts of it. And I think the students really, really enjoyed that. Since we have been remote, we have had a number of interviews with plastic surgeons and emergency doctors and the same heart doctor. And we've recorded them and put them on our website, but students have been able to talk to them, you know, face to face over Zoom. And talk to them about their experience, and they have also been able to, you know, refer back to it later on. And so this has been a really neat session as well. Architecture and structural engineering has been, I think, kind of my favorite example of the low floors and high ceilings. Students are tasked with creating strong bridges and tall buildings, and it can be as simple as that, but we also introduce, you know, the civil engineering and the essentials of architecture and thinking about what makes a bridge strong. And students can integrate what they learn into this program and really challenge themselves to make it a longer bridge to hold more weight. And we've seen some really incredible structures so far that these students have come up with on their own to engage in this program or in this session. Systems thinking and mechanical engineering. I don't know if you all recognize this, but that is kind of that first Rube Goldberg machine. And students are learning kind of the different concepts of physics and how to apply that. And this has been something that we have recently started since the pandemic. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing, and so the students are creating their own Rube Goldberg machine, you know, based on what they've learned at their own houses, but I'm really looking forward to seeing them working together in a group to create a Rube Goldberg machine. There's going to be a lot more patience that's needed, a lot better communications that's needed to really get that concept across, to make sure everybody is on the same page and really trying to work towards that same end goal. And throughout all of these, but especially for this project, you know, they've been learning the engineering design process to develop the prototype and kind of this iterative, you know, trial and error of, you know, what's working, what's not, why isn't it working. Machine learning and coding. This has been kind of it's been a struggle, but I'm really excited with what we've been able to do, you know, since the pandemic. Originally, we had students coding their own robots to follow commands, and as you can see, the two ladies in the back have coded their robots, and they are about to take it through an obstacle course. The two boys up front are working with this Masters of I'm blanking on it. This master's student, that focuses on coding, and he is helping them figure out, where they might be struggling, or where their code might be failing. Since we can't send a master's student and a robot to every student's house over this past year, we have turned to Tinkercad, which is an online free software where students learn how to create their own Arduino board, and they're learning the basics of circuitry and wiring. And so, we've heard that this is a really beneficial one because, depending on the voltage and everything, we're not just going through LED lights and kind of burning everything out. And so it's been a really interesting kind of trial by error program where students can do it without kind of, with limited resources. And so that's been a really neat one to have integrated into this program. So those were the main six, and because we're a small program and because we are just starting, we have about 60 students a semester, and we break it into a number of sessions, and we are able to have conversations with them and learn about each of the students individually and ask them what they're really interested in. And we have a number of students that are really interested in playing music, a number of students that are interested in anime and those kind of animations, and a number of students that are interested in coding. And we have also heard in their feedback that 6 sessions are just not enough for them. They would like more sessions. They're constantly asking, what else can we do? Is there anything else, are there new people that you can bring in? And so we have been incredibly lucky to form a number of partnerships with a variety of people. The Accordionists and Teachers Guild International, the president of this association, has come in and taught our students how to play the accordion, and accordions that have been lended to us, for free by an accordion maker. And just to see all of these students, on Zoom playing the accordion and how their faces lit up has been just really incredible. And the time and dedication that everybody has volunteered for this program has just been mind-blowing as well. For the students that have liked anime or interested in art, we had a biomedical illustrator from UIC. She's an adjunct professor. She came in, and this is her personal website, but she talked to the students about that intersectionality between art and science, and how you have to take these science classes in order to become this biomedical illustrator. And she taught the students how to create their own 3D objects and 3D illustrations. And so the students seem to really enjoy that. And we have the recording of both of these activities on our website as well. And then our kind of longest enduring bonus session has been using the UIC Engineering Makerspace, where students get to design their own 3D object, and then we print it out at the Makerspace lab, and then we send it to the students. And it's just really neat to be able to have them do something that's online and maybe not as kind of tactile or interactive, and then they get to hold the product of their hard work later on. And these are just some examples at the top of what they've been doing. And we don't promise that these bonus sessions are going to happen every session. If there's no students that are interested in art or interested in anime or anything like that, then we might not have that. The artists come in and talk to them. So we try to curate these bonus sessions based on the student interest, and of course trying to be respectful of the volunteer time as well. I had mentioned this earlier, but we have integrated the LRNG digital badging platform into this program. And it's a really unique platform where students can do their own learning based on their own interests, on their own time, and get digital badges for it. And these badges are unique because it's something that that a student could use on their resume or in an application to talk about, the activities that they've done and what they've learned throughout this process. And we've curated, it's a whole website of all sorts of different badges, but for the STEM Scholars Program, we've curated 36 badge opportunities of a mix of hard and soft skills where students who are interested in different things can go and take their own time and learn about these. Some of them are games, some of them are videos, and then they have to submit work about and submit proof of them participating in this activity in order to earn a badge. And over the past 2 years, 128 digital badges have been earned, and this is no small feat. These badges take a lot of time and they are challenging. And the students that have done them are the ones that are really interested in this internship. And that is one of the ways that we have told the students that if you are interested in the internship, not only do you need to be participating in the after-school activities, the bonus sessions are optional, of course, but they should also be earning badges to help distinguish themselves from other students. And the outcomes, I know the value of hands-on learning. We have had students from 20 different high schools across the Chicago region in just 2 years, which I think is really, a lot of this is word of mouth, and it's science teachers and counselors that have been really excited about this program. And over the 2 years, over 160 students have registered for the program. We have been cognizant of, as a new program, we want to make sure that what we are teaching and what the students are participating in is actually having a net benefit. And so we have had the students participate in pre and post-session questionnaires to really understand what they knew before the session and if they've been learning after the session. We've seen kind of an average of 20% comprehension improvement, and that's something that we use to improve our own curriculum. If we see time and again that there's just no improvement from the session and everybody scored low from the beginning, everybody scored low at the end, then that's something that we're doing wrong. The students started scoring high, then maybe it's not challenging enough, and we need to introduce new concepts. The idea of this program was to help pique an interest in post-secondary education. And as much as I would love to be able to say, oh, none of these students, cared about college beforehand, and after this program, they all care about college, that's not really the case. If a student has registered on their own volition for this program, they're going to be interested in college. Most of them have been. And so I can't really claim that this program has really increased an interest in college, because most of them have already been interested. But students have told us that that we have showcased careers or introduced careers to them that they hadn't considered before, and they have started shifting their interest, where now thinking about environmental justice is something that they're really interested in, and they didn't know that was something that they could focus on. Or energy engineering and energy efficiency was not something that they had considered before, but now something that they are thinking about looking at in terms of college classes and prerequisites. And so that's been something that I think is also indicative of the presenters that have come and spoken to the students and the curriculum that has been created. I've mentioned it a couple of times, but not really to the full extent. I think everybody would expect an after-school program and internship to be affected by COVID-19, stay-at-home orders. And really, of course, our program has been affected, but really the students and their families that have been impacted most significantly. And students have volunteered that their parents have experienced job loss and their family is experiencing financial insecurity. And this oftentimes means that there are increased demands on our students, that they are now having to get second and third jobs to help support their family. They are having to take care of their brothers and sisters when they might not have had to in the past, because there's just not that capability of their families anymore. They have shared that some of the most basic human needs can't be met, and they don't have the resources that they need, either in general or to participate in this program. And I think one of the most common ones that probably all teachers are seeing or have seen is just a Zoom fatigue, where we're asking them to spend 2 more hours in front of a computer and looking at a camera, which can be really exhausting. We have tried to rectify, to the best of our ability through this program, some of these impacts from the pandemic. And of course, we have shifted this program to completely remote learning and online. And it has really showcased the student flexibility and their enthusiasm for learning and for self-improvement and their excitement for this. And so that's been really neat. And we've also, I think, have been able to increase our outreach. Some of the students that may not have been able to make it to UIC campus before, regardless of the transportation credits, are now able to join us from farther away. And so that's what the map on the bottom right is showing, is that these are the high schools that we are now reaching with with remote learning opportunities. We created take-home kits. We were aware that we can't expect any student to provide any of their own resources for activities, and we absolutely did not want to put them in a position where they might not be able to participate or might not be able to learn if they didn't have the resources. And so, the top right hand or the top picture and the middle picture are this latest session of kits that we created. And it's a lot of work, but it's really neat to be able to just make these individual packages that students can then take home, and each session is in a bag, and they now have every aspect that they might need for these activities to participate. We also partnered with the ComEd Kits program to create some care packages for those students that were really in need, that self-reported that maybe they didn't have some of those basic needs of toiletries, of warm clothing, and things like that. And we did try and send those to as many students as possible. And this has gone to show us that there is still a need, regardless. We plan on going back to in-person sessions this fall semester, but if we still want to have as far of a reach and as equitable of access to this program, we're going to still need to have a virtual session. And so we're going to continue creating these take-home kits, and we are going to still have one virtual session for the students that really can't make it to campus and join us in person. It has also emboldened us to make some connections with high schools where they have invited us to participate and hold these sessions at their schools. And so that is one less step that a student is going to have to take where they finish school. And instead of coming to the ERC, they're going to stay at school, and we'll go to them and host these sessions. And so that's something that we're really excited about implementing this semester as well. So that's the after school session. Again, it happens twice a year during the spring and the fall semester. And we have 120 students between those 2 semesters. And from that, we pick 30 of those students that have gone above and beyond, that have really showcased their excitement and enthusiasm for the program, and we invite them into a paid internship. at the Energy Resources Center. The paid internship is 10 weeks long, and it's 12 hours a week, and we try to provide a competitive pay. We have heard from some of our students that they weren't able to accept the internship because they had to, they had to work construction or had to work at another job that paid better. And so they had to, unfortunately, substitute a learning opportunity with something that, that they can use to help support their family. And so we have been really focusing on trying to create as competitive of a pay as possible, so students will never have to make that choice between education and self-betterment versus being able to support their family. We want them to be able to do both and not have to choose. We focus the internship on energy and efficiency, and we have recently integrated environmental justice into it based on kind of current events and based on the students' enthusiasm for that session. And the entire summer, it's kind of this juggling, balancing a process of providing professional development opportunities, giving them office work experience so they know what it's like to have deadlines and expectations and be professional, and then learning opportunities where we're still trying to give them as many touch points as possible so they are learning from people, they're experiencing things, and they're kind of internalizing all of that. Of course, we're still affected, and the first year of internship. So this program started in the fall of 2019, and so the first summer internship was in the summer of 2020. So we have yet to have a fully in-person internship, but that is kind of the end goal. This summer, last summer it was all remote. This summer we are doing kind of a part in-person, part remote. 1 day a week, the students are doing an in-person activity, and that is either contributing to a community garden, which I'll get to in just a moment, or it is working on our energy efficiency activities and becoming energy ambassadors. Then there's some professional development mentors give professional development presentations, and then the students actually work directly with their mentors, and then they have independent work where they're getting that office experience on Thursday, which is still remote. And we also try and take into consideration, again, equity and availability, and if a student can't make it to the in-person activities, then we come up with a different activity that they can take part of. If a student has something else that's going on, we don't want them to have to choose between one learning activity versus another, and so we try and make as many changes as necessary to support these students. This summer, we have partnered with El Paseo Community Garden in Pilsen neighborhood, and the students have been working to support a green space in a marginalized community. And through this, they are really focusing on that environmental equity and doing what they can do to help support environmental equity. This is kind of the pilot program of a broader picture of environmental justice and environmental equity, where, as this is successful, we would like to start partnering with large landowners in the Chicago area and thinking about how we can create green spaces that benefit the ecosystems as well as the surrounding communities, and what we can do to support that environmental equity. The students have been contributing to a community science program facilitated by the Field Museum, and they're conducting their own research. They are helping to monitor for a nearly endangered species, the monarch butterfly, and they are looking for the eggs and caterpillars. And through this program, actually just in the last 2 weeks, this community science program has found more than 6,500 milkweed plants, 1,700 monarch eggs and more than 200 monarch caterpillars. And so that's been really neat for them to contribute to as well. We have partnered with the ComEd Income Eligible Kits program, where students will help engage their surrounding communities and their own neighborhoods and communities, and talk about energy efficiency and energy literacy, and become their own energy ambassadors. And so they will help distribute these IE kits, which are full of energy efficient measures, while also engaging their communities and talking to them about it, and helping alleviate those costs and energy bills as well. And part of that work experience is through the Energy Resources Center. So we have this kind of live ongoing document that we call the ERC Fishbowl, and staff can populate it with assignments or requests from students. And and this is just a screenshot of saying, a description of the activity, what the staff needs help with, how many hours they anticipate it taking, and how many students they might need. And it has really been utilized by the Sustainable Landscapes program, the IEE Kids program. They have been helping to further develop our own program, the STEM Scholars program. And one of the mentors that's not part of the ERC is actually, putting coding tasks in there as well for the students to work on. And so it's been this really neat opportunity where students can integrate themselves into the ERC and really get to know the different ongoing programs that the ERC is focusing on as well. The mentoring has been really fun. So the students continue their professional development. One mentor a week talks about different aspect of professional development. So far, we have had communicating in public speaking, note-taking, introduction to research, writing, and effective communication. And then the students will go and with their individual mentors, kind of that breakout session up at the top, although that's 2 mentors, and talk to them about their own experience, any kind of learning opportunities, anything that they need in terms of where they might be stuck on one of those fishbowl tasks. And then asking, and we've tried to pair the mentors with the students based on their interests and their personalities. And so you've got this top right-hand corner, these 3 ladies are interested in becoming doctors in medicine. And so we've got the emergency medicine doctor and a family medicine doctor talking to them and talking about their experience in getting to where they are. We have also been focusing on development opportunities, so really utilizing UIC as much as we can. The students recently went on a on a tour of UIC campus, and we have been working with these labs listed that students can go in and look at. And then we have had remote presentations from UIC staff of different aspects that they need to consider, diversity and equity, financial aid and scholarship opportunities, and any kind of aid that we can give the students when they're thinking about college. And of course, this is not just UIC focused. I mean, it's UIC focused, but it can be applied to any college that the students are interested in. We've been really working hard to develop our website, and I'm proud of how far it's come. We've got a resource library where students can find a variety of things, including webinars, professional development, more information and games on energy efficiency, academic resources, post-secondary education. And that top one is just that student and family basic needs resources, where they can find anything on housing and food and mental health that they might need to find. And I think a testament to this website and this family basic needs resources site is that we have organizations reaching out to us to ask to be put onto this website, so students can easily access it. We also have our session highlights, where we pick kind of the top submissions from our students, you know, the videos that they've taken. This is one of the Rube Goldberg machine, and we also have the 3D printing one, but students are hopefully challenged to be a little bit competitive and see what they can do, and also see what past students have done as well. And so with that, I would encourage you all to take a look at our website and to reach out if, you know, we're always looking for partnerships and any kind of suggestions or opportunities. It's been really interesting and really gratifying program to be working on, and these students have been really fantastic to work for. And so, you know, welcome any thoughts or questions. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Caroline. What a great, great presentation. So much content. And what one really top of the mind question is, with all that you're doing, how many staff do you have? I mean, you're doing a lot of stuff, and I hear you saying about volunteers, and talk a little bit about how that's happening.
Yeah, that's a great question. So me and my colleague Claudia manage the program, and then we have a master student that is the facilitator, and that is actually engaging with the students and teaching the students. And so it is the three of us that are working on this program.
Wow. So following up to that, you've got mentors, you have presenters. How are you talking everyone else into volunteering their time in doing all these things? And who are those? You know, what's kind of the role of ERC and UIC and beyond?
Yeah. So again, we've been incredibly lucky with the volunteers, and the majority of our mentors are staff from the Energy Resources Center, and they have been, you know, they have been pushing us on more mentorship opportunities, and they've just been really great in engaging the students. They're spending their own time working with the students and providing any kind of resources that the students are asking for. We have leaned heavily just on our own connections, and so, you know, the doctors and the professionals that have come in and spoken to us, we know them, or we know friends that know them, and they have again also volunteered their time. And we have also just reached out and cold emailed people and cold called people and asked them for their time and if they would be, you know, willing to present or speak to our students. And so we've been really, really lucky with the enthusiasm that we've received from everybody to talk to our students and meet them. We've had multiple opportunities to involve, you know, the broader UIC, and that is something that we would like to continue doing. Is we've started working with the Department of Sustainability and helping, you know, through this green space and the monarch monitoring and pollinator work. We are helping to support the Bee Campus title that UIC has. And we have been, you know, one of our first facilitators was a Master's of Science Education student that, you know, helped us develop the curriculum and think through, you know, the equity standpoints and what else we need to touch on. And so there have been a myriad of opportunities, and I wish we could take more of them to involve UIC.
Well, I know I know for a fact you're being modest in how successful and lucky you say you've been in getting folks to volunteer, but that's a lot of work. I know that, to get continuing, ongoing new things, new people, professionals to present. And so kudos to you, but also, this is a feel good, everybody's in kind of project that people want to contribute to. And I think that speaks volumes to this program. Another question you mentioned, and I'm a mentor of this, of the program too. So how many mentors are there in ERC? And kind of, do you have any future goals or anything that you're thinking for the future with this program as we come perhaps back to a somewhat of a normal reality?
Yeah. Let's see. I think we have 10 mentors right now, and I think 8 of them are from the Energy Resources Center, or 11 mentors, and 8 of them are from the ERC. One of my goals is, I would like to have, students have a variety of interests, and we have people with a variety of backgrounds at the ERC, but it doesn't cover all of the students' interests. And so I think it would be really neat to also find mentors, that are architects, or that are focusing on mathematics or coding, and that can really talk to the students and potentially provide challenges and activities for the students to work on within their own interests. But as we get back to in-person activities, I think that actually makes it more challenging than being able to call in and have a Zoom session. And so that's something that I think we're going to need to balance. In terms of future plans, we'd love to have more students. We would like to have, 5 sessions a week or more than that. We'd love to have more facilitators, have a further outreach, go to more schools, have more bonus sessions. And so there are, multiple ways, or just kind of unending ways, of how this program can grow and how this program can reach more students. And I mentioned it over, when thinking about the internship, but we could potentially have more students for the internship, and we could potentially partner with utilities or departments of transportation to help create green spaces on their working landscapes, and create kind of a sustainable iterative process that is helping to benefit the local ecology and the local communities while the students are learning, researching, and developing themselves.
Wonderful. What a win-win. So if anyone who is listening in on this might want to volunteer or offer up an idea of a subject area or a particularly good presenter, how might they reach out to you?
Yeah, and I realized too late that I didn't put my contact information up there, but my contact information is on the website. It's just at the bottom of the website, and they can email me that way.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you again, Caroline. I think we are at time. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Please feel free to reach out to Caroline. We've got 3 more in this series, so join us for the future, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you again, Caroline, and everyone have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.